My agency does $1.5 million a year with 60% net margins, which is pretty unheard of for an agency at this scale. And it's only possible because we have supercharged every employee with AI, which allows us to have fewer employees and deliver better client results, which makes us more money on performance. So let me break down the 9 AI systems that we have actively running at Curve, my agency. So it's split into 4 parts: the acquisition, the onboarding, the delivery, and the internal operations. Fundamentally, an agency only consists of 3 main parts: the acquisition, the service delivery, the fulfillment, and the internal operations. But the onboarding is so important that I decided to split it out into its own segment. So 9 systems total, as you can see: 3 for acquisition, 4 for delivery, 1 for internal ops, and then the onboarding structure. So let me go through them one by one. The cold outreach engine. This is how we source leads and actually get people to book calls with us to keep signing new clients and keep growing the agency. So what this AI agent does is that it pulls 100 prospects a day from Apollo, Google Maps, or any other industry directory. For us, we use store leads because we are mostly targeting e-com brands. So that's kind of the best place to find leads for e-com specifically. And it sorts them into 2 buckets: businesses that are already running ads and businesses that aren't. For each bucket, it generates a personal asset. So for the businesses that are running ads, it deep dives into their ads manager. It looks at their website. It finds the winning hero product. It looks at the reviews. It finds any gaps in the angles they're using. Just basically a complete map out of their entire marketing strategy, and puts that into a nice HTML file, which we host on the web and send them a link to that audit in our first email. That's the key here. We don't send an email asking for permission to do an audit. We send it in the first email because people aren't stupid. They know that when you ask for permission to send an audit, you will only make that audit after they actually say yes. This way we show that we actually put in the effort before we even ask for anything in return. For the businesses that aren't running ads, it creates some mock-up ads for creatives that we would create with GPT images too. So it scrapes their website, it finds the hero product, it finds its main selling points, the USPs, and then we have a creative briefing agent that creates the actual brief that then GPT images 2 uses to create those ad mock-ups and sends them out as a resource instead of the audit. This, as I said, allows us to send about 100 personalized outreaches per day, which I was previously doing personalized outreach when I was just starting the agency about 2.5 years ago. I was doing looms and I was sending 30 looms a day, which was taking me about 3 hours total per day with the lead sourcing, with recording the looms. I've sent over 4,000 looms. The looms scaled my agency from 0 to 50K a month single-handedly, but I'm so jealous of the agency owners that have the opportunity to use AI to do personalized outreach at scale. Outreach has mostly died out in the last year, I would say, but personalized outreach is still banging. It's still printing meetings if you do it in the right way. So overall, the system replaced about 4 hours a day of manual outreach, 3 for me, 1 for my VA, plus gave us higher reply rates than just blasting emails, plus it reaches out to 3 times more people than when I was doing it manually. The second is the AI sales audit. So the way our sales process works is that it is a 3-step 2-call close process. The first call is just a discovery call, 30 minutes, where we get to know the prospect, we understand their pains, why they're looking for a new agency, what they're not happy with today, and we qualify them based on BANT, B-A-N-T, budget, authority, need, timing. If they're qualified, we offer to do a free ad audit of their ad accounts. It's basically just an expansion of what we did to actually get them to book the discovery call with the cold outreach engine. They give us read-only access to their ad account, and we feed the entire ad account data to an AI sales audit agent that analyzes the entire account. It looks at the media buying structure, it looks at how they're attributing, it looks at their creative, so it pulls every single creative, it looks at the angle in the creative, it looks at the design of the creative. It knows exactly how we produce creatives at my agency, so it knows what the best case scenario is, it knows how to do it, and then it creates a very comprehensive audit explaining exactly how we would manage the account if we were the ones in charge. It looks something like this. So it gives an executive summary, it explains the account in just surface level numbers, it goes deeper into the media buying structure, a creative analysis, it looks at the angle gaps, it looks at the conversion path, the projected impact by working with us. Basically a strategy that we would put together after signing the client, just like we do it before we sign the client, because this gives us an insane conversion rate. We have about a 50 to 55% conversion rate from these audits to actual closes. Overall, the whole process has about a 30% conversion rate, so from the discovery call to close. But as soon as we introduce the audit, it bumps it up to 50-55%, which again is pretty unheard of for an agency at this size. We are signing approximately 6K a month retainers on average. Our average client pays about 6.5K a month. So we make this audit. It is recorded as a loom. So just like I am talking right now, we record a loom walking through the audit and we send it to the prospect before the next call, which is supposed to be the actual sales/close call. So they look at the audit, they understand what we can help them with. They're already pre-sold. So the thing is, I suck at sales. Like, I've never had to develop the skill of being good at sales because our system is so good. Like, I've never had to handle objections because this process makes sure that no objections even pop up because of how we structure the sales process, the audit, the pitch deck, which I'm about to get into. So they get the sales audit, they look at it, then we jump on the actual close call. And on the close call, we present with a personalized pitch deck built for this specific prospect. So what we do is that we have a note taker in every single call. So we feed the note taker transcript from the discovery call into this AI pitch deck builder. We also give it access to the ad account. We give it the audit that we just created, and we give it access to any emails that have been sent back and forth with the prospect, which gives it all the context it needs to understand exactly what the prospect is struggling with. It personalizes the pitch deck to exactly the type of person they are. So some people are very like sales number heavy people. They just want to see the numbers. Here's how much we're going to spend. Here's the return. Here's how much you're going to make. That's like, some people only care about that. So it personalizes the pitch deck to that if that's the type of person. Some people are much more feelings based. They want to feel that you are the right partner, that you listen to them. They want to feel heard. And in that case, it also understands again which type of person it is and personalizes the pitch deck to be much more about feelings and how good our reporting is, all of that stuff. So it's amazing what this can do. Instead of just running the same pitch deck for everyone, you have it, personalize it to exactly what this person is looking for. And then at the end, you have an offer, a pricing offer that again aligns with exactly what this person is looking for. So if they're very risk averse, you should be probably doing a performance-based deal. So we skew much heavier towards the performance aspect. While if they already trust us, if they just want to get started, we can maybe pitch a higher retainer to have a bigger baseline. And on top of that, another performance deal. This is what the pitch deck actually looks like. So for this brand specifically, they were hitting a ceiling. They just weren't able to scale any further. And as you can see, the entire pitch deck is built around that. So it explains how we would unlock the next 30 to 50% of monthly revenue in 90 days without raising spend. So it explains exactly where they're at. It shows that we've listened to them, that we understand the situation. It then explains how we would fix the 4 main things that they complain about on the call. It explains our system, how we actually work to deliver the amazing results. It shows a couple of case studies that I also like to go a bit more in depth on. So I like to actually show the website. Of course, I don't show other clients' ad accounts on potential close calls, but just showing the website, kind of explaining how we help them. We also like to actually make 5 ad concepts. So if you want to go a bit above and beyond, you can actually have either GPT Images 2 or your actual graphic designer create 5 ad concepts completely for free, because remember, they haven't paid us a dime yet at this stage of the sales process. But we present 5 actual statics that we would run in their ad account. So we do some actual like in-depth analysis. We brief them out. We have the graphic designer create them, spend a couple hours on them, because it's insane how much people trust you when you actually put in some effort before you've even asked for anything in return, before you have pitched any price. So we show them, usually at this stage, they're like, damn, like, wow, this is like, I've never seen this from another agency before. Then we explain what the first 90 days would look like in this type of way, just the roadmap. And lastly, it kind of breaks down what not working with us would mean in terms of their revenue. And lastly, it actually pitches the price. So after all these like 9 slides, I think it is, they're so pre-sold. They've seen the audit. They know exactly what we would do in the ad account. They've seen actual examples of ads that we would produce for them. Then it just comes down to actually closing them. So we always give 2 options, and this is key. You always want to give 2 options, because when they see these 2 options, you don't ask, do you want to work with us? You ask, which of these options would you like to go for? Which is a psychological reframe, which makes them think, which option should I go for, and not if I should go for these guys at all. Small like psychological sales trick, but really worth using. So that's kind of the entire acquisition process. And as I said, this allows us to have a 30% close rate from the actual call book, the discovery call to close, and then a 50% close rate from the audit to the close. Next, the onboarding. Okay, we sold them, they're good to go. Now we have to actually onboard them. For that, we use a market research engine, which gives us a full market research doc within 2 hours of them signing the contract. This is another AI agent that scrapes their reviews, their website, all the forums that exist. It scrapes competitor website. It looks at the ad libraries of competitors and maps out exactly which sophistication levels the different customers are at, which angles we should use, who our actual personas are, their age, their name. It actually creates personas, which then makes it so easy to create ads because we just go into this document and we look at the personas, we look at the angles we should use, and then just brief out creatives based on that our graphic designers and video editors produce. It delivers in an Excel sheet, so it's just a sheet with about 7 to 8 different tabs, and each tab covers one specific topic. As I said, the sophistication level, the angles, the ICPs, all of that stuff. I have made an entire Claude skill out of this specific system, so if you want access to it, DM me on Instagram and I will shoot it over to you. Usually it's only available to the agency owners I work with, but this is so valuable that I would feel bad keeping it from you. Then the delivery. We've onboarded them, they're happy. We know exactly what type of ads to create. They are happy with the first 7 days of the partnership because we've already launched the first ads. They had a smooth onboarding experience where they were added to a Slack channel, where they got constant updates, all of that stuff. Then we have to just keep the momentum going. In the delivery part of the agency, we have 4 AI agents running. Number 1 is a creative briefing agent. The second one is an AI image generator. The third is a media buying co-pilot. And then we have automated monthly reports. So for the creative briefing agent, this one takes the market research document that was created in the onboarding step and just uses it to basically create briefs for our internal team. It looks at the angles, it picks out which ones it thinks will work the best based on what it sees working in the ad account already. And it makes a complete brief for our graphic designer or video editor to follow, which text to have, which cuts to have, what type of images to use, what the concept is, what the angle is, so that the graphic designer doesn't have to think. The graphic designer doesn't do any planning. He just sits there and does what he's best at, graphic design. And same with the video editor. He doesn't have to plan out his videos. He just sits down and he has the exact recipe he has to follow to make the creative. The graphic designer also uses an AI image generator. So we use GPT Image 2 with Claude actually prompting it. That generates the images that are usually in the background of our static. So let's say you work with a skincare brand that needs a creative that shows one of their shampoos in the middle of the forest for whatever reason. You can have the AI create that image in about 30 seconds if you prompt it out well, which would usually take like a day of shooting and $500 to $1,000 on just that one specific shoot. So this way we have 5x our creative output. Previously, we were producing about 20 to 30 creatives per week, statics. Now we're producing 100 to 120, sometimes pushing to 150 on one single graphic designer. Show me any other agency that can produce 150 statics for their clients with a single graphic designer. I can promise you that they don't exist because nobody has the systems we have. And again, going back to the topic of the video, this allows us to have fewer graphic designers, which increases our margins, which again makes the business more profitable, and we need less revenue to make the same profit at the end of the month. Compare that to another agency that's charging 1.5, 2K a month, and they have 100 clients and they have 10 graphic designers and 5 CSMs. They're doing the same revenue as us, but they have half the profit, if not even less. So I really, really love this system where you have few clients. We only have 20 clients. We have few employees that are all supercharged by AI because it makes every relationship with every client more personal. I would actually call a lot of our clients my friends at this point. It makes it much more fun to actually work with the team because we have a super tight-knit team and we have more profit at the end of the month. The third system we have in the whole delivery aspect of the agency is the media buying co-pilot. So this is an agent that scrapes all the ad account results from every single client ad account every single day, every single week, and every single month, and sends us recaps on Slack. So it tells the media buyer basically what to focus on. Here is where the account is struggling. These types of creatives aren't working. This test is failing, or this test is doing amazing, so that the media buyer doesn't actually have to do any of the numbers analysis. The AI can do it for him, and he can just jump into the account and begin doing changes because he knows where to look. And again, this allows one media buyer to handle about 8 to 10 high ticket clients versus 4 to 5 like it was before. We have 2 media buyers managing 20 clients that are pulling in $125,000 a month in revenue for the agency. Lastly, the automated monthly reports. And this is a system I am so proud of. It basically does the end-to-end monthly client reporting. It generates the reports, it hosts them, and then our VA sends them out. But I could probably automate the sending as well. But point is, it has access to our client ad accounts through AdsVisor. It reads the full Slack history for that specific month that we are generating the report for. It reads every Fathom transcript for every internal and external strategy call that we've had for that client. And then it writes a comprehensive report using our brand template. It hosts it on our website and then returns a public URL ready to share. This one is pretty insane because previously we were spending about 30 hours a month, I would say, total for the entire team to do the monthly reporting for our 20 clients. And the reports were not amazing. They were good, but they were not amazing. In this case, we spend like 30 minutes a month on the reports. It's the first of the month today when I'm recording this, and I did the reports this morning in like 30 minutes literally, and they're already sent out to the clients. And the result is like 10 times better because it can deep dive much deeper into the ad account. It knows exactly what we discussed, so it knows exactly what the plan is for the next month. It knows exactly what the issues were last month. It knows exactly what the major changes were last month. So it can detail everything every single person in our agency knows about every client and puts it in a nice client-friendly report. For this, you need Claude projects, you need AdsVisor, which is just a connector between your ad accounts and your Claude. You need Slack, and you need Fathom, which is the note taker. Lastly, the Fathom to Asana task layer. This is on the internal operations. An issue I had previously was the fact that I had 6 back-to-back internal strategy calls, and then I jump off those calls and I don't remember anything of what was discussed. I don't remember the to-dos, and then stuff begins slipping through the cracks. What this agent does is that every time we have a call in the agency, it pulls the transcript from Fathom and adds it to the to-do of the relevant person. So if my co-founder has an internal strategy call, it understands that my co-founder was leading that meeting and then adds those to-dos to his Asana board. If I was leading the call, I get those to-dos. And even the subtasks, it understands who is responsible for each subtask and then applies it to that specific team member. So I don't have to do any of the task management anymore. It's so insane just jumping off a call, not having to worry about a thing, and then everything appearing in my to-do in a couple of minutes. I know I said that was the last system, but we actually have a last layer that connects everything together. That kind of is the glue between all of these 9 systems. So consider it like a little bonus, the 10th system, and that is a CSM Copilot. This is an agent that has complete agency-wide knowledge. It knows exactly what was discussed in any Slack chat at any time. It has access to every single transcript. It has access to every single client ad account. It has access to every single email. It knows when my calls are so that I, at any point, can ask, what's the status for this client? What's going on with this project? How is this campaign performing? It's going to pull the Slack chats to understand what I'm talking about. It's going to pull the ad account data and is just going to give me a report like a CSM would. It, again, frees up my time to actually work on the business, not in the business, because I have this digital AI CSM that keeps track of everything and lets me know if something is going off track. I hope you see how excited I am about these AI systems because I'm just amazed by what AI was able to do for me and my agency. And if you want my personal help one-on-one with AI enabling and scaling your agency, click the first link down in the description. It is a 4-minute video that explains how I help agency owners like yourself scale by AI enabling every part of their operation and their agency. If it makes sense, you can book a call with me directly on that same page. If not, that's also completely fine. Thank you for watching. Have an amazing day.